Leah, here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County. So if you are somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today, because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today. Set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon. And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning on this wonderful Easter Sunday. Doc, you don't care what holiday it is. You're here to tell people to get better, right?
We're promoting good medical care. That's what we're promoting.
That's right.
And this is a great day to do it.
Great day. Hey, I'm very honored to say we have the genius from Orlando, my friend Gio.
I'm not from Orlando.
No, you're not the genius.
I'm not from Orlando either.
Yeah. Okay, we got the father from Puerto Rico, and we got Gio from the United States. We got the girl our producers on the board who's half dead, and we've got me and the famous
That's Les.
Less is more.
He doesn't name anybody. You notice that? The producer, the girl behind the board, nobody.
Okay, we do that. So, Doc, we know who you are. You're Freddy S from Amp2.tv, who powers the show with the inimitable aid of who I call the genius, Gio.
Are we streaming right now?
We're streaming.
It's right on the I'm watching it now.
Oh, you're streaming right now?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Hey, Les, how
Okay.
you doing?
Anybody want to watch this program live? You should. How do we get it? Pannozzo.tv? Is that right?
Pannozzo.tv.
Okay, and then you'll see the picture of the knee. When you have a knee pain, it's not really in the knee. It's on the outside of the knee. See the red and the blue?
Well, Doc, you're not holding it. Hold up towards the camera. That's okay. Perfect.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
You see
Yeah.
the blue here? And that's a ligament around the knee. So the inside of the knee here is pain-free. There's no pain on the inside. So when they tell you have bone on bone, that you need to get your knee operated, don't do it, because it's only a ligament, the blue. And it's only a small part, say 3 inches of the whole thing, which is about 18 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to throw away a good knee for that?
But Doc, that
Don't
knee,
do
when
it.
they say you tear that ligament, can you tear?
You cannot tear anything.
Cannot.
No. It's read there by the MRI, which you should never do for a knee. I could show you articles by orthopedic surgeons who say don't do an MRI of the knee. It's too simple. You don't need to look for anything. You know how to examine for it. It's easy to examine for it. Our treatments for these are based about 5 days, 5 treatment days, and that saves the knee.
And
So
save
you gotta-
surgery. Yeah.
You ought to try it out. So you actually see it there. I'm not making it up. This is right from the anatomy book.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, you know, in the process that Dr. Pannozzo is about to enter doing a reality show,
That's going to be amazing.
which is going to be a little bit controversial. Controversial.
I think it's going to be a lot of controversy, Freddie, because people are going to find out, holy God, someone told me what not to do, and I'm doing it, and now I'm in pain.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask him, because he's holding up that paper,
Mhm.
and he's talking about the ligament around the knee. And here we go. I mean, we might as well start promoting this stuff and letting
Sure.
people know that his smart TV app is available.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the smart TV to TiVo? TiVo?
Smart TV, Samsung, Sony Smart TVs,
Repeat that. what you-
TiVo Smart TV, Samsung
Samsung Smart TVs,
Smart TVs,
Samsung Smart TVs,
Smart Samsung
Samsung.
Smart
Samsung Smart TV.
TVs,
TiVo,
TiVo Smart TVs,
Sony Blu-ray player.
Sony
Select
Blu-ray player select
Wow.
box.
What
He's
about
available-
Apple?
Take it easy, Doc. We
No
haven't
apple?
gotten to the fruit market yet. Take it easy. But the bottom line is that now that you brought this up in conjunction to what you were just holding up, the controversy begins, because you're about to expose what's going on in the medical profession.
Mhm.
I mean, am I allowed to say that without
Sure,
going
yeah,
to
it's
jail?
the truth. Because anything that's the truth, you're allowed to say.
Well, I mean, you just said that they want to get rid of a good knee for a ligament that goes around the knee.
Over 113,000 people a year are getting rid of a good knee, and Journal of American Medical Association, they can look up it themselves. This is not me. Said the same thing. People are getting rid of good knees.
That's right. So we're going to open up the venue to explain.
Well, Freddie, I've never been challenged on this.
Well, you know
I've
what,
been
Doc,
talking about this for a while, and I can actually show you the anatomy. I've never been challenged on this.
No.
Well, when your show comes out, there's going to be all sorts of challenges.
That's good. It's good for the public. They should know more.
That's the beauty. It's good for the public that they have an alternative to getting surgery.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about migraine, you don't want to get Botox for migraine because it only treats muscle, and that's not where the migraine comes from.
Does it take the wrinkles out of your head?
No, there's no wrinkles in the head.
Well, that was a joke, Doc. I mean, come on.
Well, you know, it's really interesting, Doc, that you say that about Botox, because if you go to WebMD, they have Botox listed as a 3-month fixer-upper for migraine.
Every 3 months.
Well, it's a lie, and they should not be doing that. It's the wrong tissue. Should not be doing that at all. It's expensive, and you don't get anything for it. Aspirin, take aspirin. That's better than Botox.
Well, the bottom line is, I mean, the moral to this story is that the doc's reality show is about to get kicked off, and he's
We're excited
also,
about
We don't know that for sure.
Well, I'm pretty
We're
sure.
on the verge of it.
I'm pretty, yeah, we're
We'll
on
have
the
the
verge.
producers meet us, and it's going to be exciting.
But the bottom line here is the controversial aspect of what you say. I think is really, really important for people to understand that we're not saying something that we can't back up.
Well, you're going to back it up because you're going to see the improvement that right then and there on that same program. You don't have to wait. You're going to see it right then and there.
And we have video evidence of everything we've
Everything
said.
that we do, this video evidence.
Right, and
No complaints.
and we're going to have people sign an affidavit that they are telling the truth, and we're not coached by me.
That's right.
Everything they say, they're saying it because that's what they believe.
Well, we're also going to make sure that everyone knows that these are not actors; these are actual people. We're going to take the person from the beginning when they meet Dr. Pannozzo to where he doesn't act, where he uses his C-arm to find out where the problem is, and then the snare is to show how everything is getting better. I think that what that's going to do is going to open up the eyes to a lot of medical people to say, wait, maybe we don't have to operate.
I think so. Where do they see the scoliosis treatment? It's going to be incredible.
Right. Oh, that's
well, that's just it. You know, the scoliosis, we can start a little bit with that. And you took care of that older lady from England, which has been our
Yes.
trademark.
And many people since then, too.
Yes,
I mean,
but she started it. She was for me, she was the first time. And maybe you dealt with this before.
surprised the heck out of you, didn't she?
Oh my goodness,
God, she got to me.
I didn't recognize her. I didn't know, but I want people to understand that we back everything we say. That we can show everything that you've worked on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would not be on this program if we didn't tell you the absolute truth. This is not flowered up at all. This is the absolute truth.
So
Bottom
let me just
line.
give this number, Doc. In case anyone's home and they're cooking and they want to hear something, just give us a call at 800-889-0267. That's a toll-free call anywhere in the continental United States. If you want to call outside the United States, it's 800-889-0267. You didn't get that joke, did you? Okay, he got it. God, that Geo is sharp. And you can always call Dr. Pannozzo after the show is over at 561-381-5800. And the beauty of everything is that you could also go to Pannozzo, which is PANNOZZO.TV, which is his own TV that shows everything he's done. You want to look up scoliosis?
Yeah, it should
you
be
can see
live right now if you want to watch it.
Well, it is live now because I actually watched myself as we're
watching it.
talking. I look pretty good, Freddie, don't I?
You look.
Yeah, I had my hair done.
You look 81.
I look
good.
81. God bless it. I'm older than you, Doc. See, Freddie and I always make fun of each other, but deep down inside, he can't stand me. Okay, so now, why is this thing, no matter what I see, no matter who you and I talk to, like today, I'll bring in my MRI. She's going to bring her in her MRI where she has pain. Remember that, the waitress today?
Yeah.
I know what's wrong about an MRI. Explain to people when someone gets an MRI of the knee. Let's stay on knee for a second. It's not showing the real thing.
Well, it's interpreted.
Okay.
So, and you have to be careful with the knee because you have redundant tissue. In other words, your knee is able to flex or a 90-degree bend. Then it's all able to go straight. Well, you need redundancy of tissue to do that. Okay. But it's normal. So if they don't see it, the tissue that we're talking about, the tendon or whatever, the ligament, then they'll report that as a tear.
Really?
But there's no way to tear it And I had an 80-year-old. Did I ever tell you this story? I had an 80-year-old lady come in the office with an MRI.
No.
Everything in the knee was ripped out. I mean, everything.
Wow.
And I said, well, how would you get that? I mean, you're an 80-year-old lady. You can't, what are you going to do, fall off the Empire State Building? You can't get it. So those are overread, should not be done. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the way it is.
And a knee report, you should never take out the knee, and because there's scar tissue afterwards.
Well, that's after surgery. You
Right.
have more scar tissue, and now you really have a problem because in the first place, it's treatable. And that pain can come out. And what's the end result we're trying to do? Les, the end result. What
The
is it?
ability to stretch.
Range of motion normal.
Oh, I said ability
Without
to stretch.
pain,
But
yeah.
that's true too. Okay.
Inability. Yeah, pain is an inability to stretch.
Right.
You have to know.
I just had it backwards.
Well, I redefine things like this because it's simpler for my mind, so I know what
That's
I'm
why
talking
you're the doctor and I'm the moderator.
It's simpler
But
for his.
most of the things we talk about are not taught, and they're not in school.
Which is amazing. I mean, if you're an orthopedic surgeon, should you have a course in musculoskeletal?
Well, they have it in how to do a surgery,
Right.
not in how to diagnose a problem or manage it. That's what I do as a medical doctor. I manage the program. And the end result is normal range of motion without pain. They're looking at it as how can I fix this with the surgery, which is okay. I mean, that's how they look at it. So what I'm trying to say is don't do that surgery unless somebody like me refers you there, because we have other tricks up our sleeve that they don't have. So you want to take advantage of the medical problems, medical doctor, rather than the surgery.
Well, you've been doing this over 50
And we
years.
try to tell people, why are you going to 5 surgeons? They all tell you to get operated, and I'm telling you you don't need it.
Well, you know
Well,
what I
because
think?
that's the way they look at it. They surgery.
I mean, surgery has its place.
It has its place.
Yeah.
But it's not the number
We're-
one fallback.
We're trying to decrease that number, though,
Right.
because you got problems with the surgery. What is the main problem, Freddie?
Scar tissue.
Scar tissue. Holy cow! Yeah.
And people are also allergic to anesthesia and all sorts of stuff.
Well, yeah, you could have a stroke under anesthesia. I mean, it's.
So you got to worry about the nurse coming in giving you wrong medicine, which has happened. You got to make sure that you don't catch a disease. You got to make sure that the surgery went well, and you got to make sure that you're not allergic to the medication. And then you got to make sure when you get out to be taking medicine for the pain.
And you got to make sure they operate in the right part.
Exactly. Well, I know.
Well, then after that, there's physical therapy, right?
That's the other.
So-called rehab. I don't know how they got that term. I'm a rehabilitationist, but they got the term rehab. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, there's nothing for them to do.
It's got to be frustrating to you.
Well, it kind of is, because I see a lot of things that should not be done, and they're not asking the expert.
I got a story for
me.
you. I went to see my barber. His wife had
Why?
hip surgery because I wanted to, and his wife has hip surgery, and he's suffering. She was suffering rehab. He said the surgery went fine. When they sent her to rehab, she was in agony.
Oh yeah.
Agony. So I said, let's go see Dr. Pannozzo. So she stopped going to rehab, and she rested up. This whole went on 6 months it took. And she was sitting home, and she's sort of moving around again. So I said, you got scar tissue in there. Come and see Dr. Pannozzo. I'll walk you in. I mean, she's 74, and they operated on her hip.
Yeah, that's scar tissue. The hip is not there, probably, if they replace the hip.
Yeah.
It's titanium. That does not hurt.
No, it's the scar tissue.
It's a scar tissue around it. And that's easily treated. I mean, so easy you can't believe
And
it.
they don't see that, the doctors?
Well, the therapy, they have people, well, go to therapy, because that's out of sight, out of mind. I think a lot of it is just getting rid of people like that, and that's not good.
And therapy at 74 years of age, to bounce back takes a little longer. Yes, Doc?
But you got to understand what you're treating there. What does the therapist know about scar tissue? They don't know a thing. All they can do is stretch it, which makes it hurt. You don't want to do that. You want to soften it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so you want to soften it so you get the range of motion back without pain.
So they make it
But
limited.
they can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not in their training,
know
and
what
it's
they're
not
doing.
in their
Okay.
ability to treat. So you got to really get smart. If you don't improve, even in my office, in 2 or 3 days of treatment, you're in the wrong place.
So why do people keep going
But
back?
see, that's a high standard that I set for myself.
Well, because you
But
understand.
But they, the other places don't set that high standard.
No, they send it to somebody else.
If they no, they'll treat you for 15 days. They don't care if you show up. They treat you.
And then they'll send you to another rehab.
No,
Well,
so
wait,
this,
hold it.
another
You
that.
said, I know somebody who had a hip replacement, went back to the doctor, and he said, I'm just in such pain. He said, did you do your therapy? He said, yeah, I'm still in pain. He said, let me recommend you to somebody else.
Yeah,
So the doctor that did the surgery is going to recommend him to another surgeon.
another surgeon.
Okay? I don't understand that. I mean, there's got to be something there
It's called
that...
passing the buck.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're a smart person, can't they see that? Here's a guy that did my surgery. It failed. Why don't you do it again?
Because they look at it as a surgical problem,
Right.
no matter what. And it's never a surgical problem until they fail the medical treatment. So surgery is a failure of treatment, actually. You should look at it that way. And let me tell you about this, one of the cases this week, ankle pain. This ankle was the worst looking thing you can see. It was swollen up, red, it was peeling. I mean, it just was terrible. And it was 6 years for this thing.
Wow.
And
A long time to be in
so
pain.
I examined the ankle. The ankle was normal.
Really?
Yeah, it was normal. It moved fine. The problem was behind it,
Behind the ankle.
behind the ankle, in that tissue in the
Achilles?
back, Achilles around there. Okay, now you have to think, well, why would this be? The ankle's normal. Why would this be on this one spot? So you got to think all the time. So it must be weight bearing, right? Must be how you use it. And sure enough, he had a hip problem there.
Really?
Yeah. So I said, well, your ankle's not going to get better because the weight bearing that you're doing, if this is your foot, you're weight bearing here instead of here, where it's supposed to be. And because the hip places your knee and ankle to do its work. So if the hip doesn't place it right, now listen close, people, you got to, this is anatomy. If your hip doesn't place your knee and ankle properly, then you misuse the knee and the ankle. So you have pain there.
That's logical.
And it is
That's what I got.
extremely logical. And so what we do is we fix the hip first, and then fix the knee, and then fix the ankle. And
that's
once the
what
range of motion
what
of
you
that
had,
hip
right?
comes,
That's what I got.
Oh, right.
once the range of motion of that hip comes normal, then everything disappears. It works just like that. And you say, well, how is that possible? Why does my doctor know that? Well, you got to understand these things. You got to know the anatomy. You have to know how the anatomy is being used. You have to know function. You have to know physics. There's a lot of things to know. And they're not taught that in school, that's for sure.
You know, but if you're going to logically physics of the body and being a musculoskeletal specialist, I can understand that. We had someone from iHeart who came in to see you who had an ankle pain, and you did say she was prepared to go the next day to get a boot put on and go for physical therapy, but she didn't want to
hers
do.
was the lower back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those. A referred pain. One of the questions that I always ask is, are you sleeping all night or does something wake you up? And that's the question. Now, if you say I'm sleeping all night, that's fine. If you say my foot is bothering me at night, you can be sure that it's from the lower back.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
But you got to know these little things because what bothers you at night is a ligament structure between the bones. We call that an annulus, or it's not the disc. The disc is on the inside. You know, it's a misnomer. We all know what it means, but it's the annulus, which is a ligament. And as you're sleeping, it'll pull and send a pain right down to your ankle.
Wow.
And so we know where it is right away. We just go and take care of it.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you look at it and you
Well,
say,
after 70-some thousand patients, we should know something.
83,000, Doc. I mean,
83,000?
listen to me.
No.
You just take care of them. I'll keep the numbers.
I don't think it's 83.
I think it is. You want to bet?
No.
Want to bet breakfast? Oh, it's my turn to buy next week, so I don't want to bet because I'll have to pay.
Yes, we got to go where it's expensive.
Yes, we will. Steak and eggs at Capitol Grill. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh no.
We'll bring Freddy and Gio with us. Are you wearing your wedge? There's right there. Always?
You know, yes. You
Yes.
know, you're on the air.
I was just talking to Gio.
I know you're on the air.
I know, but I haven't seen Gio in a while. I want to say hello. Okay. Oh, bellboy, my
Got
bad.
to get his attention back.
Okay. So now, why is this? And I know this as a fact because before I knew you, I had to go through this. As soon as I went in, I said I had a heel spur. Okay, and they gave me that name, plantar fasciitis. And before I could do anything, they gave me therapy. physical therapy on my heel, and I didn't say anything because I didn't know any better. I didn't know you. It didn't make my heel better. It didn't. They gave me, they moved it around. I was on the treadmill. They did all that stuff, and I said I do that at the gym now, and it never felt better.
Well, if you go to the doctor,
Mhm.
and the doctor takes a needle that he just used on another patient, right? He gave a patient a shot. And the doctor puts the needle down, and he's going to give you a shot. And he takes that needle and puts the medicine in it. I would bet you $100 that the patient won't say nothing. You know how I know this? Because in Texas, about 5 years ago, it happened. And they arrested everybody because it was breaking every law in the world. And they were using reused needles.
Not him. He takes it out of
No,
the
not
bag
him.
every time. A new needle every time.
But what I'm trying to point out here is that if a doctor tells you you need surgery, you're going to say, I do? Yes, you do. Why? Don't worry about why. I'm the doctor.
You have doctors that do say that.
Of course.
I know that.
Now things are changing because people are questioning the medical profession.
Yeah, because they're afraid.
Yeah, well, the hip is a ligament, not inside. Remember, the knee. Inside the knee does not hurt you. It's the outside. And the same thing in the hip, same thing with the shoulder, same thing with the elbow. Actually, the elbow is a little bit different because it's there's a ligament and a muscle there to the elbow. That's all there is. No surgery should ever be done for the elbow, Freddie, on that sports business,
Oh, the elbow. I've brought in five people with the elbow.
It's horrible what they're doing to these elbows, and there's no reason for it.
The girl I brought in, Doc wanted to be able to give her more shots because she was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And you know what she said? Every time I see her at the gym, I say, "Hey, you picking those weights up?" She said, "Yeah. Still have a little pain here." I said, "Oh, but before you couldn't even vacuum." She said, "Yo, he really is good. You were right, Wes. He really is good." And the other guy I brought in was built like you, but very muscular, and no, he wasn't built like Freddy, but very muscular. He's a football player, and he got the needles 3 times. He found 3 spots. He called me up the next day and said, "I didn't believe this stuff was going to work, but oh my God, I'm able to tie my tie, sleep."
Yeah, well, that's why we're on the radio, trying to, the doctors don't get this. They don't understand it.
I don't think they want to.
Well, they're trained to go to orthopedic surgery. That's what they're trained to.
Yeah, but we want to train the public.
We want to train the public to overlook that
That's right.
and go off on their own because they're buying the insurance.
That's right.
I mean, and don't let the insurance company tell you what to do.
What are 2 things that you're not supposed to do in your life?
Your money,
Your money and your health.
Yeah,
You're the only person that's responsible for their money and for their health.
That's
and now,
right.
we're going
When
to
you
say,
lose it, either one, it's your own fault.
if you want to go for surgery,
study.
God bless you. Everyone has the right to do what they want to do. We're not trying to convince you. All we're trying to tell you is there's an alternative. So if you go to see Dr. Pannozzo, just come in and let him look at you.
You got any questions this week?
Oh, I got a whole bunch of questions, Doc. Here,
And
I'll read
we
it.
did a little bit. Yeah, you read it. We did a little bit different this week. We sent out a survey, and we specifically spoke about migraines.
Oh, great.
And what we did was people were sending us information about how migraines, what doctors are telling them. It's kind
wow.
of unique.
It's all baloney. I mean,
All right, then let's
But
go.
I sort of laughed at it.
Let's go right to it then.
He's going to take a drink. He gave me the signal.
Okay.
All right, you start.
Once
reading.
upon a time. Okay.
No, you start reading.
Oh, I'm sorry, Freddie, please. Joyce from New York City writes, "I am 6 months pregnant and suffer with migraines. There is a study which suggests that older women, and I am over 35, can have complications due to migraines at birth. My question, doctor, is are you familiar with this study? And number 2, if I were to come see you because I am pregnant, will the shot affect the health of the child, and have done studies to prove that no complications will be present because I cure the migraines?" That's Joyce from New York City. It's like a 3-section party.
well, first of all, the steroid we use is 1 cc. It's very small. It takes 5 for a teaspoon. 1 cc, and it goes in the right spot. There is no way on earth or in heaven, being a holiday like it is, that you could have any effect on the baby. It's a human just like you.
But
And,
the reason that question is important, Doc, there was a survey that says that pregnant women in their 3rd trimester that have migraines, which is pretty common from what I understand, they have some kind of problem with delivering the child.
There is no truth to that. These people don't even understand where the headache comes from. They're just doing a questionnaire, that's all. It has no validity. That study is a waste of time to read that. It's just not true. It's just not true. We know where migraine comes from, and it's not what they're saying.
Okay. So pregnant women can't come see you? It doesn't
No,
matter where
absolutely.
they're at in their
Sure,
pregnancy?
yeah. They should come to me with a backache. Why suffer through childbirth
That's
with a backache?
That's
You don't
the one
want to
thing
do that.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, though.
We
is
could
the
take
back.
that out immediately, and the baby is unaffected. In fact, you want to make sure that when the baby is delivered, that's where the problem comes in. If they pull on the neck, you get autism from that. That's what I think
All right, we're
autism
gonna
is.
stay away
We're
It's a
from that
gonna
headache.
one.
stay away from that one, Doc.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the show.
No.
But you know something,
would
Doc,
like
the
that.
more I think about what you say, a lot of stuff can happen when you pull on the neck. at
Oh,
that
absolutely. You got to
age.
know how to do it. I have 40 deliveries. I delivered 40 babies, and I know the problems there. And you never want to pull on that neck.
Would that cure scoliosis over a period? If you pull a child, no.
You don't get scoliosis. that way.
Scoliosis is a
You
fall.
get scoliosis when you're up and you fall.
Injuries.
Okay,
injuries.
Larry from New York City writes, I have done research about Botox and preventing migraines from occurring and agree that the muscle tissue they are injecting has nothing to do with the migraine. Have you seen Botox on men and have they explained to you that the migraine is prevented for 3 months only? The shots are small in quantity and they charge $300 for a shot. You got a very lucky break. Does using Botox increase other problems and perhaps make migraines a small
No,
problem?
the whole thing there is you got to be able to examine somebody's neck.
Right.
That's how you do it. You have to know how to examine. You got to take a history 1st. You have to know actually what you're treating. Now, if you go to some of these guys that do Botox, they're just going to see your neck and they'll do the 3 shots.
Six,
And-
if you have 6.
And there's no science to that.
So the chances of them hitting the scar tissue or the part that's causing migraines is slim to none.
It's up to none. That's why the headache comes back. But first of all, the headache never leaves. If you examine someone, if you know how to do it, like I do it, there's 6 parameters for motion of the neck. And you have to be able to examine. You find out where the deficits are. You mark those down, then you treat it, then recheck the deficit, and you'll see the deficit's not there. But with the Botox treatment, the deficit is always there. It's range of motion loss. Remember, going back to
Range of motion.
range of motion loss. Range of motion normal without pain is what we're after. You can't get it from Botox because the range of motion is not affected by muscle.
Well, here's a
It's
part
not
that's,
affected by muscle at all.
here's a part that's very funny, Doc, which I think we all miss this part. He said it prevents the migraine coming back for 3 months.
That's baloney.
Okay, when you when you take care of the migraine, when does it come back?
Never.
Okay, so
So you got to come back every 3 months to get another shot?
every 3 months, yeah. And it's I don't know how, but in New York City that's unusual, because they're like $1,500 here.
Well, maybe
Well-
they meant you need a set of 6, so you're looking at $1,800 right there.
Right. And it only helps. It relieves the pain, like Doc said. You have pain from migraine, take 4 aspirins.
Well, for instance, you should not be doing Botox anyway because it's a ligament causing that pain. So
that's in the muscle.
aspirin's your best drug.
Yeah. Take 4
Take
aspirins.
3 aspirin or 4 at a time, and you're done with the migraine for the day, for the week, until you get hurt again.
Here's something this is very interesting, Doc.
And it's a shame
I'm
that
sorry.
Botox is making a comeback. It's really
Well, it's they're pushing it because it's an income stream. So you got to be careful. I mean, they'll do anything that you walk in that office. They're going to do it. You know while you're there. So I'm telling you, don't do it.
You know what I've seen, Doc? I've seen beauty parlors giving Botox. I'm serious.
that's kind of strange.
Well, from what I understand, it's like a 3-day course on how to get Botox, and they have it on there. You know, if you want Botox for wrinkles. Well, they're not giving it for migraines; they're giving it for wrinkles. But I mean, I don't know if I'd go to a beauty parlor and say, "Let me have a perm, wash my hair, and give me 2 shots of Botox in my face." I
Well,
mean,
so years ago, the barber shop was where you went for everything.
oh,
That's true.
God, you're right.
That's true. Absolutely.
They were the pharmacists of the block.
Oh, I still go to a barbershop where it's a real barbershop. There's no women; it's just men getting haircuts.
I go to a guy, Vincenzo, who used to all be men, and he's listening today.
Vincenzo.
Vincenzo, always men, and now they're doing women. The other side is doing women. But he had the pole and all that, only men. It's like a man cave.
My place, there's a woman that does my hair, but no Botox. Here's a great question. This one I really like. Brittany from New York City writes, I went to see the doctor and found out that I have a long list of triggers for my migraine.
Triggers.
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 Yeah,
Triggers. This is new, Doc. I haven't seen this before.
Wait, this is great. You already said that a nice thing. This is good. To look out for in migraines. I said to him that you have located the specific area to migraines, and he looked at me shocked. And here's what they said. You ready, Doc? Here's what the doctor that she went through, who was shocked, said where it comes from. Stress, menstrual periods, changes in your normal sleep pattern, extreme fatigue, certain foods and beverages, too much caffeine or withdrawal, skipping meals or fasting, changes in the weather, exercise, smoking, bright frickling,
Changes in the weather.
Changes in the
flickering
weather.
lights, and odors. This is what the doctor told her.
Odors.
I mean, she actually sent that in.
Yeah,
the list.
let me tell you, that doctor's a fool.
Gee whiz, no kidding.
There is no relationship between these things and the anatomy. You got to have an anatomical source. You can't treat weather. How are you going to treat weather? You can't do it, and all that's baloney. Unless
Well-
it's based on the anatomy. This particular spot, like right there, if you can't name that, then you don't know what you're treating. So the doctor should stop it, and the patient should not go there.
Well, except for menstrual periods.
It has
everything
nothing to
here,
do with the
Bill,
menstrual
everything
period.
here I've had, and I've never had a migraine in my life.
Menstrual period is only
I didn't know where
it's
you were
only
going.
below the waist. It has nothing to do with
Right.
headache.
That's what I understand, because it changes the weather. It rains. It's
Right.
I exercise my whole life. I never had a migraine.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that the doctor
Think about
was shocked. Was shocked when she told him about you.
Yeah.
I think that she was shocked when he gave her this list, and she says, "What? This is just ridiculous."
Oh, here's what else she said. Listen to this. I had a back injury in a car accident, something I explained to the doctor, and he still says all of the above is why I have migraines. Is that a thought you'd like to share?
What kind of doctor is that? That must be some kind of.
Chiropractor.
Oh, it's a chiropractor.
I'm just guessing.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just
She didn't
guessing.
specify. But it could be a holistic doctor. It could be anything.
'Cause
But
I
the
knew
bottom line,
people-
it doesn't work.
No, I know people that suffer from migraines, and their doctors said the same thing. Stop drinking coffee with caffeine. Stop exercising.
I know MSG.
Yeah, no,
Well,
MSG.
no,
right?
Next
MSG.
question.
You know something? MSG is what they told me.
Yeah.
MSG.
It was giving me migraines.
Until I
Monosodium.
diagnosed
What is that? Monosodium
monosodium glutamate.
Glutamate.
glutamate. That's nothing to do with it.
Right?
Flavor enhancement, but I think it's high in salt or something.
Oh, that's Chinese food.
It has some-
Monos-
It's salt.
Salt, yeah.
Monosodium is
Monosodium.
salt.
There you go.
Monosodium glutamate.
Chloride would be a salt.
Hey,
Monosodium.
Les, you gonna give the
Chloride.
call-in number to see if anybody else has a wacky story?
Oh, well, I doubt if anyone's going to call on today.
Next question.
Yes, sir. I have a director, I have a producer, and I have Gio who's telling me everything, and I got her who fell asleep. Okay. Susan from Atlanta writes that she went to see her doctor and was told the weather was the reason for her migraines.
Another weather.
My question is
Weather
why...
forecast.
My God. My question is, why do doctors use weather for migraine damage and just assume anti-pain meds will fix my migraine problems? I have taken all these medicines, but nothing works. Can I still come to see you without worrying about the meds I've taken?
Yes.
There's no complication of medicine.
Susan, if you're listening to this or watching us, let me give you his number directly. It's 561-381-5800. You can call the doctor. He'll be more than happy to
I
talk
tell you,
to
it's
you.
worth the trip down.
Oh, of course.
because You get rid of that headache, and I really mean it. We're not messing around with you. You're thinking. This is
No.
true. We know where it's from, and we can get rid of it for you.
And here's what we'll do. If you come down, we'll make sure we have a hotel for you, give you places that we'll have your cars for you, and tell you where restaurants to eat it. You know what? It's a great time to come down to South Florida. And you know what? Walk in with pain, come out with none.
Right.
Because there's migraine. Because the people that have knee problems, they limp in and they weep out. Okay.
You know, it's really funny. You'll also be able to enjoy the weather.
And be able to do things.
Not have to worry about it's raining if you get a
I'm gonna get a
migraine today.
migraine.
It is the best beach. You know how much money the state spends on the beaches? They put dirt in there. They make the beach longer and longer. And in other words, pushing the ocean back.
There
It
was some,
is a great place to visit. The food's good. It's a small town. No crime. I mean, it's just great.
Jack from Atlanta writes, my left knee is killing me, my left foot is swollen, and my knee continues to quick when I make funny noises. Well, Jack, don't make funny noises. I was told I had arthritis in the knee, but some reason the pain seems to get worse at night than it does in the daytime.
Oh, you explained that.
Yeah. Does arthritis only affect you at night? Please help me.
Well, the clicking, what did he call it?
Knee clicking.
His knee
funny
clicks, so when he
noises.
moves, you can hear like a
It's
clicking.
just a tight ligament, that's all it is.
Right.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, remember your ligaments, well, it's on the outside of the knee. You know, I showed you.
Showed it up by the
No,
camera.
I know.
Hold it up straight.
I understand it, but
Little blue.
Down a little.
a lot of people
Perfect,
tell me,
perfect.
a lot of people tell me I have clicking in the knee.
Really?
Yeah, it's only a ligament that won't stretch out, that's all. So the treatment for that is to just stretch it out. Either do it by hand or you do it by shot, but it's not inside the knee, it's on the outside. So
Holy
that's the reasonable anatomical way to look at things. You can't look at it as, well, you got bone on bone, your MRI, you know. None of that is true. You have to examine the knee, and you have to know how to examine it, and it's not that hard.
Did you give out his phone number? You gave out his phone number,
Yes.
right?
I
So
said
you're to
after
blame for
I
this.
said after 12.
Well, I'll call you later, whoever's calling
Yeah,
me.
we're going
We'll
to
call you back. We
Or
got-
if
we
you
got
buy
you.
your phone, why don't you call up 800-889-0267 and ask the good doctor what your problem is.
You probably want to make an appointment.
Good, we love it. Robert from Atlanta writes, I am a high school pitcher entering my senior season. I was told
This is a good one.
Yeah, I had an inflamed and swelling of the bursa, and they said I need an operation to clean out the area. I would end my senior year of pitching, and I have no chance of getting into a good A1. A1 is what? A1 league is
A1 division is top league.
okay.
Top
College to play baseball. If I come to see you, will I have to rehab my shoulder and back into usable?
No,
Wow.
there's no, when you
This
come
poor
to see,
kid, huh?
no, when you come to see me, I take care of the whole thing. There is no treatments other than what I do. I do it myself. We do everything in that office. We have no therapists around, no chiropractors, nobody like that. And why? Because they don't know what to do. Why should I have them? I take care of it. And there's no such thing as operating of your shoulder to clean it out. Clean what out? It's normal tissue, man. I mean, you don't clean anything out. So he's having a little bit of a ligament problem. Remember,
Versus
around.
Yeah, what is a
no,
bursa?
there's no
Yeah, what is a
bursa.
bursa?
No bursa at all. There's never a bursa. It's always capsular ligament. You have to be able to diagnose it, and not read a book and say there's a bursa there. Oh, you have a bursa. No, you have to be able to diagnose it by examination. Examination.
Do you know that the pitcher for the Washington Nationals, Arroyo,
Oh, I heard it. Yeah.
they misdiagnosed and said it. The doctor misdiagnosed, and they said that he has the same bursa problem, but his pitching career might be. It was going to be done. He was done because of what he had in the shoulder. Now, because it's a bursa issue, he's going to miss 4 months.
Well, he ought to come and see me because he'll go
He
back
should.
to work in next day.
This is craziness.
He'll throw that ball the next day, and I really mean it. They say, well, how's that possible? They have experts there. No, they don't. They have surgeons. Remember, there's a big
Therapists.
difference. And trainers, there's a big difference. You know, when I owned a big gym that I designed, we had tests that we did for the trainers.
Right.
It was a 6-page test, and that's all. And after that, you're a trainer, personal trainer. Is that enough? No,
No.
not enough.
Amazing. Well, I tell you, the controversy is about to take a new.
Oh my God.
It's going to take a new. Take a new turn.
Yeah.
You know, because think about it, the guy's career. You're talking about a
Millions and
career-ending
millions of
surgery.
dollars.
Yeah, why do people come in after they have to retire for their pain instead of before?
I don't
Because they
I
don't
mean,
understand.
we
know.
have football players that lost millions of dollars each one. I mean, and
Do you
always,
know how many NFL players, every single player, NFL, all 52 of them on each team is in pain, including the practice squad. I guarantee you that. I've been on the sidelines.
yeah, yeah.
They play with pain. They play through pain.
And
if
they don't
this can
have to,
help,
and they shouldn't.
I just don't
Because
get it.
you know that old thing. What do they call it? No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
The whole thing is stupid. What does that mean?
Well, what Freddy said. Did you happen to catch 30-30 yesterday?
Yes. No.
With the old Chicago Bears, they did an hour about the old Chicago Bears.
I've read about it.
They interviewed all these players that are now retired, and they said just what Freddy said. He said we didn't know it. We were in such pain as soon as we walked into that stadium and heard the roar of the crowds. We played on adrenaline only, and we were in pain. To this day, I still can't walk.
Why is that?
A lack of the right.
Because when your body temperature comes up, you can handle a ligament pain better. So you get a stretchability of the ligament structure. But when you cool off, it all comes back.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Doc. I'm going to tell you a story, and this, you can look it up. I'm not making this up. The NFL did a probe of 3 teams last year. They were putting drugs in players. The way they do it is they put it in a white jar, and they leave it in their locker. Nobody knows who put it there. Nobody, but they take the pills. This is what they did in the Chicago championship.
So they
days.
put it on top?
No, they take it. They swallow the pills and stuff.
Oh, they swallow it.
So the FDA got involved because they're going
Was that
out
recent?
of state. This was last year.
Oh, last year.
But this investigation about popping pills for painkillers and everything else from state to state is a federal offense. Now, the city's not going to investigate because they want the revenue.
Sure.
The federal government, they stick their nose everywhere. And 3 teams on the West Coast, that was stupid. I know, I just named the teams. And but it's public document. You can look it up. They were investigating. One of them was at the Meadowlands. They did the investigation. And they were looking for pills.
Yeah.
So what the NFL
heard
players
of
that
that.
you're talking about, they are being socked in again with the pills, with the medication.
Well, if it's aspirin, then there's nothing to investigate.
Trust me, it's not aspirin.
Uh-huh.
It's not aspirin.
No, we don't.
FDA ain't going to come out for aspirin.
They were talking about.
But you shouldn't. It's so easy to take care of the pain once you know where it's from.
Because
And
of
that
Dr. Pannozzo.
Yeah,
If we could put you in a bottle.
That's right. Put me in a
Can we put Dr. Pannozzo in the bottle?
Well, let me tell you something. If this reality show, and I think it's going to happen, works, people in the NFL are going to see, because we're bringing the next NFL players
Yes.
in that show for him to treat. I mean,
Yes.
real players that are actually going to be treated, not just, and they don't get paid. They're coming in to be treated.
But you know, when these players are getting paid millions of dollars a year,
Yes.
and they can't play, you'd think that they would just call up on the QT, make an appointment, get fixed,
No.
and go back.
No, you know why? Because Freddy said it a long time ago. The NFL is a corporation, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you have and doctors, surgeons, and you tell me if I'm wrong because you were involved in this. Doctors have to put a bid in to be on that team, and they
That's
take
right.
they take the bid of the
That's
orthopedic
right.
surgeons. Am I correct on that?
That's
They
correct.
do pay
Okay.
the team. They
Yes.
pay the team to be on the staff there. Yeah, that's true.
You know, the funny thing is that our marketing guru over here, we're going to do the Dr. Pannozzo branding. So we're going to take his pay, we're going to put him on the jar. And we're going to put it on every CVS across America. Inside the jar, there's a note. Call my office, because we don't give out any pills. And that's the best branding thing
That
I
is
could
very
come up
funny.
with.
I-
But
I
it's
like that.
An
true.
empty bottle. Yeah,
An
that's good.
empty bottle with your phone
With your
number.
phone number, I think that's a great idea.
What do you think there, Brainiac? You think you like that?
I
huh?
think that
You like
is
that? See,
really
that came
great
from
idea.
Here. That came from right here.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to let us know, because that happens to be a
But
great idea.
but it happens to be the truth.
It is the truth.
That's the scary thing about this whole thing. What you're about to encounter now with this reality show coming out, hint, hint, and the apps that are being played, hint, hint, and people should watch the show. Make up your own mind. Make up your own mind. You don't need to take pills.
Well, they're going to be able to see it for themselves. And what we're going to show is what everybody in the world has.
That's right.
What we do is get your free bottle, and here's what you get. You open the bottle, and it's a card. Call this number.
That's
no
it.
more pain. That's real simple.
That's it. And that's it. And we're gonna put it in every CVS across America.
Yeah.
You like that?
I think it's a great idea.
And it'll be 99 cents for the bottle.
99 cents for the bottle, and $10.99 if you want us to ship it to you.
And if you want a 12-pack, we'll give you that too.
But what you said is so true. I was watching this, and I said to myself, God, this you got to watch it. 30-30, the Chicago Bears, and McMahon. What was his first name? The quarterback.
Yeah, McMahon is the leading cause of all this investigation
Yeah.
right now.
Because he was always
He was a quarterback.
Oh, from Chicago.
yeah.
For the
Oh,
winning
yeah, I
team.
remember
And he won the team with Mike Ditka
Yes. But
and Coach Ryan
yes.
and Buddy Ryan.
But they wanted McMahon to testify recently, and he did not do it.
He wouldn't testify.
He wouldn't it would destroy the NFL. He doesn't want to destroy the game.
No. He wouldn't testify about
But then he goes
Actually,
around.
actually, he should have, because you're not going to destroy the game. The game is not built on who sits on the bench.
Well, if it becomes, if the drugs are flowing and what have
Well,
you,
you know, the drugs are flowing because they're not getting fixed. That's why.
unfortunately,
And if they get fixed, the drugs would stop, right? You know, don't
Let's
blame
move
the
the mic.
drugs. The drugs are not the issue.
Well, I agree 100%, but try to convince. You know what? It's like
Well, look, they're smart enough to know if this doesn't work, do something else. If they're not that smart, then they should not be.
you know, the
playing
bottom line here, Doc, is that they should be smart. They should call you.
Sure.
If you can't help them, you're going to tell them, I can't help you. Simple, because you're not going to put your reputation on the line.
I know a lot of doctors that I told them that why he gives it a shot. No, they all said to me, can't hurt.
That's right.
Can't hurt.
And you have all sorts of things.
I have all sorts of things with me. I took no. My doctor
you
said.
can't even. You
He
can't
said,
even
try to
sugar.
take as much as you want. It's inflammation. You have Crohn's disease. What do you think your mirror is? Inflammation.
That's right. I mean, that's
You
what
could
they're
probably
treating you.
cause psoriasis, right? I just thought that because psoriasis isn't psoriasis inflammation?
Yeah.
Because your mirror also
Yeah, but
cures.
what kind of inflammation? Don't put Doc in the soup.
No, it's a skin disease.
Yeah, I know, but maybe he can't work with it.
I'm just asking.
Don't ask.
Okay, I'm sorry, Doc. I won't ask that again. Let me ask another question. Let me get
Ask
out of
another
this.
question.
He found the bell. Okay,
But he'll tell you he can.
I've been in the office with him when he said, "I can't help you."
I've seen that too.
He just said, "I mean, this guy. Look, for what he charges, he'd rather tell you the truth. He tells you the truth. I mean, we're not looking at $10,000. Or let me make it a little better. $1,500 for a Botox shot.
No.
You can come into Dr. Pannozzo and get a shot for your migraine. I'm not going to give the price. Let me just put it in reality, people. Shot for the migraine. Have Miyake, the new grande that they came out with Starbucks for $4. Still go and have dinner at a steakhouse, and it won't even still cost you what it cost you for a Botox shot. And here's the difference.
Got another question?
I'm not done. And just,
What's the difference?
the difference is he'll cure you.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Okay.
How much is that worth?
Exactly. I'd fly down to New York.
I don't know. There was the Botox, not the Botox, but this. What is that surgery that you get the 1-inch?
Oh, the spine surgery.
They're offering that at Boca Regional Hospital now. 1 inch.
1 inch spine
I mean,
surgery?
I don't know. These guys are really.
Oh, they're making the scars 1 inch.
Yeah.
Do they do that by robotics?
Yes, robotics.
I don't know how they do
Yeah,
it.
they do it.
Okay, Mitch from Boca writes.
But that company there, that's
Mitch,
$13,000 for that little bit of a surgery there. And where do they get it from? You know where they get the diagnosis from?
MRI.
MRI.
And Doc, they don't even give you a jar of Pannozzo. A Pannozzo jar.
I love that phrase. That is what a great marketing thing
I
because it works.
just had a guy that 2 weeks ago come in that had that surgery. Didn't improve at all, and I had to fix it. Of course, I'd fix it.
Unreal.
You have chiropractors.
And I didn't charge $13,000 for it either.
13,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? If you, I think I know what I think.
Doc, I think you're too cheap.
Yeah, I told him that a long time ago.
I think that the medicine bottle is going to go up to $1.99 now. He's too cheap.
You know what? And no, what's going to happen? It's going to have three things: his card, his telephone number, and a guarantee.
You have to put a guarantee. What is it with you? What if
Because
he has something that the doc can't cover?
if he can't do it, he'll tell you he can't do it. That's your guarantee.
Nah, I guarantee you I can't do it.
Now, let me ask you a question. Look at it logically. How many times, I want everyone who's listening or want to text, I want you to think about this for 1 second. How many times has your surgeon said, you do this procedure, I guarantee you, you'll...
Never.
Okay.
All
Now,
right, so what?
so what he does, he guarantees. So to put your name on something that you guarantee,
Yeah. How do we guarantee it?
because it works.
Well, I know that, but you have to have a method of guarantee. In
Yes.
other words,
What causes the problem?
in other words, if your exam shows that you can't bend backwards, and I do my thing on you, and in 5 minutes you can bend backwards, there's your proof.
Right.
And in 2 days you're not going to have that pain anymore.
When someone comes in, like you and I came in, he said, he gave the shot, and he said, now I want you to be able to make that pain come back while I'm in your office.
People are surprised. What?
And I'm picking my leg up when I had...
I said, yeah, make it come back.
Yeah,
if you
I had the
can.
groin pain, I'm picking it up, I'm bending, it didn't come back.
No, it won't come back.
Look, here's your son. He didn't get a shot, and he fixed him.
No, I understand that, but I don't want to put a guarantee inside the jar because now it'll be $3.99. When you keep raising the price here, it was 99
Wait.
cents when we
Good
started.
question.
Wait, hold it. $10.99 and a free T-shirt.
Get out of
Okay.
here! Oh, you're gonna put a T-shirt
Yeah,
inside
T-shirt
the
in that
bottle.
little bottle.
He's
Very
gonna
small
put a
shirt.
T-shirt
Read the
inside the
question.
bottle.
I tried to read it, and then you guys
Maniac.
interrupted
We
me.
don't have any T-shirts to give away,
This guy's a
so read the
maniac.
question.
Mitch from Boca writes, I have flat feet and my swelling and pain is on the top of the foot and the pad of the foot. My doctor says I have degenerative arthritis and it's a condition when the arch is collapsing. Is this true? Can you help me? What about a collapsing arches? I never heard of that,
That's
collapsing
interesting.
arches.
What is that?
Well, it's flat feet.
That's just
Oh,
fancy.
that's what,
Actually, I'll tell you what to
I
do
never
with
knew that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You can, if you have a flat foot, it's because the ligament structure that's holding the bones together is stretched that way. But you can get that back. All you have to do is put your thumb up there on the inside of the arch and just stretch it up. And it'll hurt a little bit, but that's a ligament stretch. And after a while, the whole thing goes away and you have your arch back.
Now you
Or-
have something to do that.
Huh?
You have something that does that, right? That you can get the arch back.
Well, we use a lengthening wedge on the inside of the arch, so that you get the wedge starts at a 1/4 inch and goes up higher, maybe an inch, and that'll bring your arch back, just from walking on it,
And it hurts.
and no surgery involved. So you
Yeah.
got to stay away from surgery on a foot. You never want to have a foot up.
It hurts because I know the doc gave me a wedge. And
Yeah.
It begins to right in that
Are you
area
wearing it?
all the time.
Okay. Janet from Google Plus writes, I've watched your show with my daughter a few times now and have visited your website as well. We are planning to go and see you as my daughter has a severe case of scoliosis, and being that she is only 20, we are looking for a fix that does not require surgery.
Well, we have that fixed.
Okay. Let me say, Janet, you could go to Pannozzo, PANNOZZO.tv, and you can look at all the people that have seen the good doctor and are on their way to curing scoliosis. Okay? Want to get another one, Doc?
Yep.
Joan from Twitter Plus writes, watch the show, love the content. My husband complains about pain in his groin. Oh, man. Watching Les talk about the area and how you helped him. What are the signs I should look for? And please give your address so we can make an appointment. Should I give him what I had? The effects of the groin injury?
Well, there's there's 5 places
Okay.
that could cause a problem in the groin.
Okay.
And we examine for every one of them, and then find out which one it is, put a shot in, and it's gone
Yeah.
before you leave the office.
I had 2 shots. It was gone.
Yep. Well, you had 2 different places.
Right. Well, you told me there were 5 places.
Not
You got the
sa-
2.
Not the same day either.
No, that's correct. I had one day. Why, you do have a good memory.
Oh yeah.
Well, Freddy,
He
what do you have to
remembers
say?
your groin like the back of his hand.
That's for tomorrow's show, Freddie. Sims from Facebook writes, I watched the show for the first time here in Atlanta and want to know more about how you say you can cure migraines. I work in the sun all day and my migraines are nothing short of being very horrible. Can you help me?
Yes.
What would it take to remove the
Yes.
pain?
Yes. Just show up.
Just
Come
show
into
up.
the
Let me
office
give you the number. Let me give you the
lot of
number.
weather doctors.
Pardon me?
A lot of weather doctors with migraine.
Weather?
Yeah, the weather affects everybody.
Oh yeah. Weather.
Except for the meso thing, I've had everything. Never had a migraine.
You gotta be careful
561
when you go to a chiropractor because they're going to give you all kinds of answers.
Oh yeah.
They're trained that way, and they do some good work, but I don't know what it is. But they do some.
Well, when chiropractors come in to see
And when
you,
they tell you things like that, it makes you wonder. You know?
am I right?
Yeah.
If a chiropractor comes in to see you, then he knows he's not going to his friend because he knows you can cure him.
Well-
I mean, could you get any more better?
What we do is top of the line, the best you can get. So if you don't come and do that, then you're getting less than you deserve.
So now that the show is coming to an end, I just want to give everyone the number
Yes.
of Dr. Pannozzo.
Now they can
It's
call.
561-381-5800. You'll come in limping and you'll walk out leaping.
And what's the address?
16244 South Military Trail, Doc. They do that right off of Linton, right across the street from that famous Walmart. Come in, get a shot, and guess what? Start buying stuff at Walmart. You'll be able to walk without holding onto the wagon.
Yeah.
You ever see these people with the hunched over back walking with the wagon? Hey,
No, we can fix that.
I know you can. Isn't
Yeah.
it amazing? Isn't it amazing?
In
You know
fact,
what I want to do, Doc, is I want to take 1,000 of your business cards and go to every restaurant, like on Linton. You know, there's a ton of restaurants, and leave it on every plate.
Yeah, so then you'll be sued for getting the plate. Someone said, I got.
No, I'll talk to the manager.
You better talk to the manager
Of course,
first.
but I want to leave a card on every plate because they all leap in. They all
Oh,
hunched
him
over.
and I were just at a restaurant. The people came in,
They're hunched over.
hunched over, walk. Now I've looked at a lot of older people that stand up erect because they never fell. Is that correct? Or never fell to damage anything?
Well, the worst thing you could do when you have a pain like that from falling or lifting or whatever you're doing, the worst thing you could do is have someone tell you it's just arthritis because of your age. There is no such thing. It's all ligament damage. It's all treatable. Arthritis should be taken off of the lexicon of language.
Really?
Yeah, doesn't mean anything. What does it mean?
My father.
It means a pain, but where?
Oh, 1 minute.
You don't
Okay.
get it. Yeah.
This show goes by too fast, Doc. I want to say goodbye to.
Well, we could keep doing this after the time.
Yeah, we could do. No, don't you have someone coming in at 1
No
o'clock?
one's going to hear me.
Okay. I want to say thanks to our board operator. I hope she feels
Thanks.
very good. Gio, it's always a pleasure to have you down here. Freddie, as always. Dr. Pannozzo, thank you for your knowledge. 561
Well, thank you
381
for keeping it alive. I appreciate that.
561-381-5800. And everyone sitting in this area right now, as well as most of iHeart, has been in here to see Dr. Pannozzo. Everyone, I wish you a happy and healthy holiday.
I've been to see Dr. Pannozzo.
Yeah, the one up in you.
My son. Yeah.
Yeah, you fly up there all the time.
Yeah, I
Say
fly.
goodbye, Ali.
Goodbye, Ollie.
Goodbye.
And have a great, healthy, and happy holiday.
This has been the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Pannozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Pannozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561-381-5800. Dr. Pannozzo will consult with you to determine the best solution to your pain needs. 561-381-5800 is the number to call, even if it's just for a second opinion. Join Dr. Pannozzo next week when he brings you more important information on the physics of weight-bearing and engineer concepts for the body.
1230 WBZT West Palm Beach and iHeart.